Today we're going to be demonstrating the steps of a drainage, and we've got Morgan here. The first step is you'll need some oil or cream. Now the first step we're going to do is just starting underneath of the chin. Just as you roll off of the jaw, we start there, and just with light pressure we work our way back underneath the jawline and up towards the ear. We can do this about 4 or 5 times. Again, not using too much pressure. The pressure is, not dissimilar from how you would test the ripeness of a fruit. We're just going just beneath the skin and up to the ear. So that's the first step. The second step is along the top of the brow and down to the ear. Again, nice, soft, smooth pressure over the brow and down to the ear. After doing 4 or 5 of those strips, we then move on to the third section. That is just below the cheekbone, wrapping under the cheekbone and back to the ear. So we can go ahead and do 4 or 5 of those. You'll be able to feel the contour of their cheekbones, and you can just follow that ridge the whole way along and back to the ear. Once we've done that third step, we'll move on to the fourth step, which also happens to be the first. Again, back to underneath the chin and back along the jawline, all the way up to the ear. Again, another 4 or 5 of those. Once we've finished that step there, we can lightly rotate the head to the side. Now just in front of this big muscle, if Morgan lifts his head up a little bit for me, it's this big muscle that runs through here. We want to just softly massage down and in front of that towards the collarbone. Okay? Again, 4 or 5 strips down in front of that big muscle. And then opposite side, same deal, 4 or 5 lovely big long strips down to the collarbone. The next step we can do in combination with those 2 steps. We can run along the collarbone line out to the shoulders. This can feel really quite nice. Again, 4 or 5 strips there. That finishes up the drainage side of it in the head and neck. The next step, we can work down to underneath of the right rib cage. If you are using oil, you might want to use a towel of some sort so you don't get oil on the shirt. But you can see here, just underneath of the right rib cage, we've got our sternal bone, our breastplate here. If we feel just underneath of the right rib cage, do a few pumps underneath of the rib cage. Under there will sit your liver. Say 4 or 5 pumps there, and we can move our way around to the other side. The other side we've got our spleen, same kind of deal, just underneath, nice and soft. This should not be painful. 4 or 5 pumps there. How you going, Morgan?
Loving it.
Loving it, okay. And then the last step, right here on the chest plate, as we make our way all the way down, you'll get to the end of the chest plate, the sternum here. We can put our hands softly over the end of the sternum, and then we want to give a few hard hits, not too hard, but put a little bit of weight. So we can do 8 hits right at the end of the sternal bone there. As Morgan gets up, he can take his time there, but as he gets up, he might need to blow his nose or wipe his face. And that's the drainage.